I have comfortability doing both, so I don't think there's one that I'm better or worse at. I think it's just adapting and learning how to play both.
What did you learn from the loss to the Pacers?
I think we just weren't mentally ready. Um, Obviously, we had injuries and things like that, and other teams did as well. So you can't really use that as an excuse. But I just think mentally we weren't mentally tough in that series.
How do you get better? How does that happen?
I think you have to go through something like that, to really test you, to see, where you're at. And I think that series showed that we're not there yet. And I think that's how you build mental toughness by, going through a situation that's similar, not getting over it, and coming back and getting over that hump. That's how you do it.
Kenny's obviously a
With the
great
East being
coach.
as wide as it is, you guys are maybe the favorites to come out. How exciting is that for you? And with you being a key piece, what are you going to be committed to make sure that it happens?
It's really exciting. Just the expectation and everything it's very exciting, and it gives me something to look forward to. And for me, I just gotta be who I am. I gotta be the best version of myself, and I think that is good enough for other people. But um, I always just try to do what I can do before I try to do stuff for other people.
Kenny's obviously a great coach, but for Evan to have people over in LA and Don to have people in New York, just bring you guys together after what happened last year, for the players to take initiative, basically, for what happened last year to erase that. Just what does that say about this team and the hunger going into this year to make sure that last year was an aberration?
I think it shows that we have a goal. We have a mission, and we're all, on the same page. And I think, like you said, having those two guys set those up for us in the middle of the summer where they don't have to and it's not mandatory, I think, it shows that we do have a mission. And, as a team, we're looking forward to, accomplishing one thing.
DeAndre, I'm sorry if you were asked about this, but Kenny and Kobe both said that you having a full summer with them and in this organization can really help unlock things for you, and they're excited to see that. What do you think is the most beneficial part of having that full off season as a Cavalier?
It's just learning each other. Just learning everyone. Like I said, I had to learn a few players, and mostly just getting that relationship with Kenny. Like I said before, just knowing where he can put me on the court, and me telling him where I think I'm best on the court, and vice versa. So it's really just a collaborative, thing to see what works best for not only myself but for the team, and what Kenny sees in me and stuff like that.
You describe your personality as an introvert. How would you describe his personality?
Kenny is I would say Kenny is an introvert as well. I would say he's an introverted extrovert. Like once you know him, it's like, okay. But he's not just going to come off like that. Well, he wasn't with me anyway. But now that I've gotten to know him, it's like, yeah, he's an extrovert.
He's known for grinding film at crazy times and just being kind of a lab rat. How have you seen that this summer? Is he sending clips at odd hours of the night or what?
Yeah, so he was talking about practice like 2-3 weeks ago, and we were like still on vacation and stuff. So that just gives you a small glimpse. But yeah, he does things like that. Like even after games, it'll be 12 at night, 1 at night, and he's sending you clips. So he can't get enough of it.
This far, can you describe how your time has been in Cleveland?
My time has been great. I mean, everyone welcomed me here. It's very, I would say, I'm very appreciative for that. And the people here are real supporters. That's like one thing that is the biggest difference for me. The people here are real fans, and they really care about Cleveland basketball, and I love that as a player.
Have you ever been a part of a rabid fan base like that?
No.
Looking back on last season for you, how do you feel like you grew the most as a person?
I mean, that was my first time being traded, so it definitely, put basketball into a different perspective for me. You kind of see it as like that's all you have, and then you just got to move everything and then go somewhere else, and it's kind of like, it just changes how you perceive basketball. So I think that was the biggest thing that changed me. It just changed how my outlook on the game, not negatively, but just how quickly it can change for you.
You shot at such a high percentage when you came over here. How do you kind of create that continuity and continue that on this year?
I think that's just work, that's just work and confidence. And I think obviously the work has come from myself. but confidence can come from myself and from my teammates and my coaches, and they do a good job at doing that. So I don't think that would be hard to do again.
How would you define the Cavs culture as a team, with it being so family-oriented? How would you define it in your own words?
That's the word I would use. I would think it's definitely family-oriented. They want what's best for the players, and they want to win. I feel like as a player, that's everything you want from an organization.
Did Kenny ask you if you wanted to start?
Yeah, he did.
You told him you did.
What is it? Even something as simple as that. What does that say about you guys weren't able to have that conversation last year? What does that say about how crazy your entry point was for this team?
Yeah, it was a lot, and it's things that people probably see, like the media sees, and then it's like the actual reality of it, and having to move and do all these things, and it's like it's a lot, but it's a great problem to have. I'm not saying it's like the worst thing, but definitely it took time to settle and adjust, but I think definitely now I'm a lot better than I was.
Growing that relationship with Kenny, just how much easier does it make to talk to him tactically about stuff on the court when you do have that piece?
It makes it a lot easier because honestly before I didn't know how to approach him or what to say to him exactly, but now that I know him, I feel comfortable saying anything because I know what kind of person he is. So like I said, building that relationship definitely helps me, and I think it helps him as well. Just like I said, just being able to talk basketball and everything else.